On a fateful day that will forever resonate in the hearts of many, a tragic event unfolded that would send shockwaves through this nation. The assassination of Charlie Kirk, a dedicated conservative activist and founder of Turning Point USA, was not only a sorrowful loss, but an eye-opening testament to the power of faith, resurrection, and community. As the world grappled with the mourning of a visionary, something extraordinary began to spark an unstoppable revival fire of the Holy Spirit that would ignite the hearts of millions. A day marked by heartache. Charlie Kirk's life was a beacon of hope for many, advocating for free speech, responsible governance, and the reclamation of America's foundational values. His charisma and unwavering commitment to faith and action made him an influential figure, inspiring countless individuals to stand firm in their beliefs. But on that dark day, a cowardly act of violence cut his life short, leaving many to question the fate of the movement he so passionately championed. Despite the heartache, a profound shift began to take place. The very forces that sought to silence Kirk's voice inadvertently became the flame that fanned the revival fire. It's a testament to how God can turn ashes into beauty, pain into purpose, and despair into hope. An unforgettable memorial. Weeks later, an event would take place that would eclipse the darkness of Kirk's assassination. A memorial service was held in his honor, drawing over 100,000 attendees, some reporting 200,000 from various backgrounds, uniting them in grief, but more importantly, in celebration of his legacy. People packed the stadium, filled with a mixture of sadness and anticipation, for they had come to not just mourn, but to encounter the living God. There were also more than 1 million online streams. As friends, family, and followers took the stage one by one to share their stories of how Charlie had impacted their lives, the atmosphere shifted from mourning to a bubbling anticipation of revival. There was palpable excitement in the air, and it felt like a generational moment where darkness would be overcome by light. Erica's testimony. Forgiveness rooted in faith. One of the most poignant moments of the memorial came when Charlie's wife, Erica, stepped to the podium. Through tears, she recounted their journey together and the extraordinary love they shared. Reflecting on their life, she spoke not only of her love for Charlie, but amazing forgiveness, a love that mirrored the very teachings of Christ. In a world filled with outrage and cries for vengeance, Erica shocked many by declaring, "I forgive Charlie's killer." This wasn't just a passing sentiment. It was a radical act of grace. She held tightly to the belief that, as a follower of Christ, she had a responsibility to forgive, thus reminding the crowd that forgiveness is powerful enough to break the cycle of hate and retribution. It is the very essence of the gospel. "I choose to forgive," she said. "Not for him, but for me. God calls us to love our enemies, and I will not allow my husband's legacy to be overshadowed by hatred." Erica's testimony became a roaring fire of hope that reverberated throughout the stadium. In that moment, the Holy Spirit fell upon the crowd, igniting hearts, drawing people into deep reflection about their own lives, and inspiring them to become agents of change in a world desperately needing transformation. Igniting a revival. What followed the memorial was nothing short of miraculous. Across the nation and even beyond, communities began to gather in Charlie's name, not just to remember a fallen hero, but to revive a movement rooted in faith, love, and purpose. Churches across the country filled to capacity, and small groups erupted in passionate prayer meetings. This collective response invoked the spirit of a great awakening as people sought God earnestly, driven by a newfound urgency for revival. Special events were organized, inviting speakers who inspired and reignited the flame within the congregations. Social media platforms exploded with hashtags celebrating Charlie's life and legacy, and many became armed with the truth that he had fought to convey. Conversations bloomed around the country, reframing debates to promote understanding and reconciliation. Through Charlie's sacrifice, the outpouring of love and forgiveness brought people together as they began to realize that the church was more than just a shelter, but a powerful force for societal change. The revival was fueled by an understanding that the greatest weapon against darkness was not debate, but the authentic expression of the love of Christ that transcended the hatred that sought to divide. A new generation takes notice. In schools, on college campuses, and within community centers, younger generations began to take notice. They saw love in action, real love, the kind that stops to pray for enemies, seek justice with mercy, and embody the gospel in their daily lives. Charlie's assassination sparked conversations about more than just politics. It ignited a fire calling forth an empowered generation to step into leadership positions for truth and righteousness. As young people rallied together, they began to engage with their communities in new and meaningful ways. Campaigns against violence, initiatives to spread kindness, and movements that promoted restorative justice began to spring up across the nation. They realized they had a role in shaping culture, that their voices could echo the values for which Charlie Kirk fought. Digital activism became a tool for spreading awareness about issues of faith, freedom, and the urgent call to uphold morals in an increasingly secular world. Podcasts blossomed, social media discussions flourished, and grassroots organizations emerged, embodying the revival spirit. Charlie's legacy was not just one of persisting in the political arena, but one of standing firm in faith, forging a pathway illuminated by the light of Christ. The power of collective prayer. With Charlie's memory etched in their hearts, those drawn to the revival started organizing prayer walks, prayer nights, and fasting events to unite people from different walks of life. In moments of prayer, they would lay down their grievances, ask God for reconciliation, and seek His guidance moving forward. The impact was profound. Unity began to permeate areas that had long been affected by division and hatred. Local churches reported unprecedented attendance as their communities embraced the teachings of Jesus about love and forgiveness. People sought out connections with those whom they had considered adversaries, trying earnestly to move away from bitter partisanship toward a spirit of collaboration. Testimonies poured in from people who claimed their lives had been radically transformed through encounters with the Holy Spirit during these gatherings. Stories of healing, restoration, and reconciliation filled the airwaves and social media feeds, further proving that God was on the move. A lasting impact. As the months passed, the revival that began with the tragic loss of Charlie Kirk continued to unfold. It transcended the initial shock and transformed into a movement that sought to instill hope and healing into a fragmented society. The legacy of Charlie became more than just a memorial. It became a launchpad for a renewed vision of governance rooted in faith, love, and inclusivity. Conversations shifted from searching for blame to seeking solutions that would benefit communities as a whole. Amidst political divisions, people started to understand that they needed to engage one another not with insults but with grace, not with judgment but with compassion. Most importantly, the power of prayer continued to be the unwavering foundation for this revival fire. As they prayed for their nation, their neighborhoods, and even their enemies, they mirrored the heart of Christ, who taught that true transformation comes from a place of love rather than the harshness of debate. Conclusion. A new beginning. The loss of Charlie Kirk serves as a profound reminder of the resilience of the human spirit. His tragic assassination catalyzed a powerful movement that has, in its wake, torn down barriers and built bridges among communities. The revival sparked by his death is not merely a response to tragedy. It is an awakening to the transformative power of love and forgiveness. As we look back on Charlie's life and witness the ripple effects of the revival that continues to unfold, we are led to a central truth. God can use even the most difficult circumstances to bring about incredible healing and revival. We may never fully understand why such tragedies occur, but through faith, love, and a commitment to the teachings of Christ, we can be certain that hope always reigns. From the ashes of despair, a movement of love has emerged, one that will not be extinguished, but rather burn brighter each day, as long as those who champion it carry forth the message Charlie embodied. As we honor his life, let us engage in the pursuit of love, forgiveness, and revival in our communities, remembering that in unity, fueled by the Holy Spirit, we possess the power to change the world.